So, once again, welcome everyone. Good evening, dear TN's family. Good evening, dear leaders and distributors, partners from all over Europe. Once again, I'm stressing on the translation channels and also 𝗲𝗲𝘁𝗲𝘁 translation, which you can find in the chat. My name is Gediminas Grinevicius. I'm welcoming all of you on this training session. I'm an education and training manager, and I'm a host for today. And we are truly excited to organize this training session and welcome partners from all over Europe and sometimes even from other regions. And by the way, you can type in the chat which country are you from, so that we will know how far we are with our trainings. Today, it's my great pleasure to welcome you to our second lesson of the second training course. And this lesson will be dedicated to confidence, self-worth, and handling objections. After this lesson, you will definitely strengthen your confidence, overcome rejections, and develop unshakable self-worth. And now, let's welcome this course-created psychologist, NLP practitioner, certified business coach, and of course, trainer, Gediminas Grinevicius. Hello, good evening, Gediminas. This online stage is yours.
Hi. Thank you, Katerina. Hello, everybody. Let me go ahead and share my screen with you. Perfect. Okay, welcome, everybody. Now, today we have a gigantic topic: confidence, self-worth, and handling objections. So after this training, you will be bulletproof. You will be invincible. And that's my objective for today. So let's not waste any time and dive in. Now let's talk about self-worth and confidence. Many people think that it's one and the same thing, but it isn't. Self-worth is an internal, deeply rooted belief that you are enough and you are worthy of love and belonging exactly as you are, from the moment you were born. Self-confidence, on the other hand, although it is also an inner quality, it is most often related to your assessment of yourself in comparison to the external world. It is a feeling of certainty, assurance, and competence in one or several specific areas of your life. Now, when we understand the difference, we can then understand why so many people don't get the results, are always scared, and don't realize their full potential. Have you ever had an opportunity but didn't take it? Have you ever done self-sabotage when you are stopping yourself? Nobody else is stopping you, but you are doing silly things and stopping yourself. Because maybe deep down you felt unworthy of it. Because maybe you thought you were not good enough. Some people call this an imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome. Where even though you have an opportunity to do something, you feel like you are not worthy of that opportunity. You feel like you're not good enough. I had that imposter syndrome. When I had an opportunity to start speaking on the stage, I felt unworthy to be on that stage. And I had to really work with myself to stop myself from stopping myself. And does this keep repeating in your life? Do you block your own path without giving yourself a chance? I remember listening to a training by Brian Tracy. It was a goal-setting training. And he said, make a goal to become the best in your company. Straight away, I felt this big lump in my throat. Oh, I could never be the best. And then I stopped and I asked myself, why? Why do I decide it straight away that I could not be the best? If I asked you to make a decision to be the best in your team, to be the best in your region, or maybe even to be the best in the whole of TNs, how does that make you feel? Does that make you feel, yeah, of course? Or do you straight away decide, no, I could not do that. That's not for me. That's again self-sabotage. Nobody else is saying that you can't do that, but you're deciding it. Deep down, a lot of people feel self-worth does not reflect who they truly are or what they are created to be. Your soul knows that you are worthy, but you allow your thoughts of unworthiness, your mind, your limiting beliefs to silence that potential. Hopefully by the end of today's Zoom, that will change. You see, every step, failure, victory, misfortune, trauma, growth, blessing, lesson, and moment of grace has always happened for you. Not to you, for you. To prepare you to become the best version of yourself that you were created to be. Even failures guide us along the path of our destiny. Write 1 in the comments if you had a bad thing that happened to you in the past that now, looking back, you can say, oh, that thing, it's very good that it happened to me. But at that time, you didn't like it. I had more than one. You see, Oprah Winfrey says it very well. You do not become what you want to become. You can have the greatest desire and work very, very, very hard. But if you don't believe you are worthy, you will not receive it. That is the magic formula. Now, it may sound very wishy-washy, very abstract, hard to take it with your fingers. But I remember one leader reaching a milestone in business and earning over 100,000 euros for that month. And another leader called me and said, you know why she reached that income? I said, no, why? She said, because she believed she can do it. Because she believed she's worthy. Zig Ziglar used to say, our results cannot be outside of our belief system. If you don't believe you can do something, you will not even try to do it. If you don't believe you are worthy of something, then you will not try to get it. So sometimes, especially in business, we say, yeah, I want to reach that level. Yeah, I want to build a big team. Yes, I want to earn big income. But deep inside, we don't believe we can do it. We don't believe we are worthy. We say things like, oh, people like me don't get stuff like that. I'm not lucky like that. Have you ever said those things? I have. That shows that we need to work a bit on ourselves. If you want to double your business, double your self-worth and watch what starts to happen. If deep inside you do not feel worthy of it, you will either never achieve it, or if you do achieve it, you will not be able to sustain it. You will not be able to keep it. Have you ever heard those stories about a person winning a lottery? They win millions of euros, but then a few years later, they're bankrupt again. Have you heard of those stories? Why? Why does that happen? If you got millions, you could stay rich for the rest of your life. Why do they go bankrupt? Because in their head, they didn't earn the money. In their head, they're not worthy of that money. So they get rid of it, they lose it as soon as possible. So they can go back to their reality. Same thing in business. If you don't feel worthy of success, even if you reach that level, you drop down. Even if you reach that income, you lose it. Until you believe that you deserve it. We also sometimes create these stories for ourselves. When I reach that weight, then I'll be good enough. When I gain more experience, then I will apply for that job. When the children finish the school, then I will work hard on relationships. And same in business. We make up these stories. When? Why when? Why not now? If I asked you a question, why are you not already at the level you want to be? Why are you not already earning the income you want to be earning? Your response to that question will be your story. Oh, Gediminas, you don't understand. In my city, in my country, people are different. You know what? I hear it in every country that I go. In our country is different. My friend circle is different. It's just a story. It's not true. We talk ourselves out of our own potential. We cut the branch on which we are sitting. All because deep down, we don't truly believe that we are enough, that we are worthy exactly as we are. You don't need to change anything about you. You are already worthy. You're already good enough to be an amazing leader, to change thousands of people's lives, to make millions of euros, to have a team with hundreds of thousands of people. You are already good enough. You already deserve it. Take my word for it. And sometimes we have this limiting belief that if you have a strong self-worth and truly believe that you are worthy exactly as you are, you would stop being ambitious and simply settle for your current life because you're already good enough. But the reality is completely opposite. The stronger is your self-worth, the less willing you are to settle for less than what you deserve. The stronger your self-worth, the less you are willing to settle for less than what you deserve. You will want to get what you're worth. You are no longer held back by the things that stop most people. And you begin to pursue everything that the life has to offer. Only when you feel worthy. And guess what? You decide that. Nobody else can decide that. You decide that. The stronger your self-worth and your self-confidence, the more fulfillment, emotional and physical health, and happiness you will experience. Research shows that self-worth is better predictor of happiness than 19 other emotional factors, including relationships and gratitude. We hear everywhere about gratitude, right? But self-worth is the biggest predictor of happiness. So let's have a look at this graph and 4 different people on this graph. Person A is high self-confidence but low self-worth. This person will be very successful externally, achieves a lot in a career and finances. But no matter how much they achieve, they never feel like enough, and they never experience fulfillment. Perfectionists often belong to group A. Person B on the graph is high in self-worth but low in self-confidence. They feel deep sense of peace and self-love, but does not feel competent or confident in their skills and abilities to achieving external success. They may have the motivation to strive for more, but they remain at peace either way, regardless of external achievements. And quite often, these people are happy, but not very wealthy. Then we have person C on the graph. This person has low self-worth and low self-confidence. Often, these people are at the beginning of their journey and self-discovery process. They still have a lot to work on. And then person D on the graph has strong self-worth and strong self-confidence. They are confident in their skills and characteristics, and they feel inherent sense of worth as a human being. They are ambitious and have big goals, but they do not pursue them to fill internal emptiness through external things. They are internally strong, regardless of failures or achievements in the external world. Question for you. Where are you on this graph? Write in the chat A, B, C, or D. Where do you think you are? And be honest. You might want to think, where would your friends be? Or family members? Or colleagues? Our goal should all be to become person D with strong self-worth, which means we feel worthy. Either way, we feel worthy just because we are, but then we also work on self-confidence. Self-confidence, by the way, comes from learning the skills and practicing. So a lot of the trainings that we have done so far were to build your confidence, to help you to become better at social media, so you're confident at that, to help you to become better at recruiting, at selling, so you become more confident. This is really important and it's really good. But self-worth is also very important. For you to give yourself permission to be as successful as possible, to understand that you are good enough and you are worthy of that. The biggest myth is that if you belong to group A, you will be happy. But usually, people in group A have a lot of money, but still have a very big hole inside. They don't have fulfillment. They don't have peace. Okay, let's talk about fear. And probably the biggest fear in network marketing is fear of failure and fear of rejection. We don't want to fail, we don't want to make mistakes, and we don't want to be rejected. We don't want people to say no to us. But how would your life look like if you had absolutely no fear of failure and rejection? Because many people spend their whole life afraid of failing, afraid of making a fool of themselves, that other people will laugh at them, that people will talk about them. But the greatest rejection often comes from where? Our own mind. That's the voice inside telling us that we're not good enough, that we are incapable. Romantic rejection, loss of friendships, not fitting into a group, family conflicts, being ignored on social media can affect us psychologically and emotionally, which is why so many people try to avoid rejection. They want everybody to love them. They're scared of a bad comment on Facebook. They're scared, what will the neighbors say? And they live their whole life in this cage where they're scared to do what they want to do because of all of those fears. This is one of the biggest reasons why people never pursue their goals. They remain stuck. They fail to bring their ideas to life and talk themselves out of success. Have you heard the saying that cemetery is the richest place in the world? Because so many dreams and ideas are buried there. Most people never realize their full potential, never write the book, never go for that dream. And that's the saddest thing in life. There was a research done by this nurse who was working with patients who are dying. And she asked over 300 patients, what is your biggest regret? And you know what? Most people regret not doing the things that they wanted to do. They regret letting other people to control their life. And very often, it's all in your head. Other people don't even care about you. They don't talk about you. But you imagine, oh, what will they say? How will it look like? Best thing is to let yourself do what you want to do. We all want to be loved and accepted. For many of us, rejection, somebody saying no, and failure feel like complete opposite of love and belonging. We associate this failure and rejection with pain. And as humans, we do everything to avoid pain and seek pleasure. But we choose to see rejection and failure that way. It's our choice. Everything in life has the meaning that you decide to give it. The meaning creates the emotions we feel. And emotions we feel create our life experience. But here's the good news. You can change the meaning you give to something. And if you truly believe it, everything changes. Failures become lessons. Self-criticism becomes gratitude. Rejection becomes persistence. Self-worth becomes stronger. Imagine if you didn't look at the failure as a failure, but looked at it as an opportunity to learn something, as another step towards success. Imagine if you change the way rejection feels. When you offer somebody the product or the business and they say, no, I'm not interested, you said, oh, this person doesn't need my help. No problem. I'll keep looking for people who need my help. Quite different, isn't it? Instead of thinking, oh, I'm such a loser, you would say, oh, I'm just helping people who need my help. If somebody doesn't need my help, that's okay. There's a woman called Sarah Blakely, one very, very rich woman. She invented the company Spanx. Some of you ladies, you know what Spanx is. But even when she was young, at the dinner table, her father would always ask everyone, what did you fail at today? Where did you experience failure today? And in their home, failure was celebrated because it showed that you're not afraid to take risks. You're not afraid to try new stuff. When was the last time you tried something that didn't work out? The other lady on the bottom picture, her name is Jamie Kern-Lehman. She invented a company that makes cosmetics for women who have rosetta, right? Who have this red skin. So her flaw, what she thought was a flaw her whole life, something she was ashamed of, have made her millions now, became her greatest strength. You can see how failure and rejection didn't stop these women, and they became super successful. Why would you let those things stop you? So here's a simple 4-step process to overcome this fear of rejection? Number one, it's called reveal. Identify the meaning you are currently and automatically giving to rejection. How you talk to yourself out of trying. What do you say when you stop yourself from trying? The number two, redefine. Create a new, empowering meaning that you can give to rejection or failure when it happens, or when you feel tempted not to try because of fear. How can you change it in your head? How can you change that meaning? Number three, revisit and replace. Revisit past rejections. Revisit past failures. Where did you fail? What did not work out? And give new meaning to that rejection and those failures that happened in the past. Say, oh, that was useful because I learned that lesson. Oh, and that was good because that person rejected me. I found a better person. Understand what I'm saying? And then number four, enjoy. Enjoy the rejections that are still yet to come, that will come in the future. They no longer shake you. Say, rejection, you may be big, but my persistence is bigger. Make it into a game. Say, whoo, another rejection. Whoo, another failure. I know it doesn't feel very good when you experience it, but if you change the meaning, it will be much easier. Is this useful so far? Write 5 in the chat if this is useful so far. Remember, you are not crazy. You are just the first. People who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do. Steve Jobs. The world will ask you who you are. And if you do not know, the world will tell you. Carl Jung. Inventors, innovators, and people who try to change the world are often misunderstood and laughed at. So you may say, but Gediminas, I'm not an inventor. Well, maybe you are. Within your family, within your circle of friends, within your workspace, maybe you are the person who thinks the most progressively. And sometimes people will not understand that. Sometimes people will laugh at you. Sometimes they'll say you're crazy because they don't believe in it themselves. Because they are thinking smaller than you. It's okay. You can be the first in your family who becomes a millionaire. You can become the first in your friend circle who builds a successful business. It's okay. You're not crazy. But don't stop yourself just to make others feel comfortable. Because often we do that. Okay, let's now shift gears and talk about objections. Because that's also part of our confidence. When you know how to handle objections, you're not scared anymore. You're not scared of talking with people. So it all starts with posture. But I'm not talking about your physical posture, how you sit or stand. I'm talking about your psychological posture. My mentor, Ray Higdon, explains posture in this way. Posture is your belief in what you're doing regardless of external acceptance or approval. That means you believe in your product, you believe in your business, you believe in your goal, regardless of whether other people believe in that too. You do not need other people to be clapping for you in order for you to go for your dream. You don't need everybody else to be supporting you in order for you to build your business. Because as long as you depend from other people's opinion, you cannot progress. So that's why I always say that our job is sorting people, not convincing people. We are looking for those who already want what we offer. We don't try to convince people who don't want. No means not now. It doesn't mean not ever. And people have the right to choose. When you go to supermarket, do you just buy everything? Or do you choose what you want? Of course you choose. So other people have the right to choose too. And our goal is always to ask if they are interested and give them a chance to say no if they're not interested. Are you interested in this product? Are you interested in improving your health? Are you interested in making more money? We ask, and if the person says yes, we give them the information. Now, one of the most powerful ways to overcome the objections, almost any objection, is to use feel, felt, found. It's really, really good strategy that helps people to feel good when you answering their objections. So this helps you to never argue with a person, whether that's a customer or a potential team member. It helps you to never make them feel bad. And it helps you to show them that you understand. So how does it work? Well, imagine somebody says, oh, I don't know how to sell. I can't join your business. You would say, I understand how you feel. I felt the same way when I first saw this business. But what I found is that you can learn very quickly. Somebody says, I will not have the time. I understand how you feel. I felt exactly the same when I first saw this business because I already had a job. But what I found is that you can do this business on your free time, using weekends and evenings. It's a very, very cool way to answer almost any objection and show the person that you understand how they feel, that you understand, their fear or their worry. Where do objections come from? Quite often, we create those objections ourselves. Our energy, our subconscious, our vibration creates those objections. People are like a mirror that reflects back. If you think your product is too expensive, you will get a lot of people saying it's too expensive. You need to sell yourself first. and pay attention to what you say. Sometimes we don't even feel how we are creating the objections. That's why, pro tip for you, record your conversation with potential customer. Record your presentation, how you explain the business, and then listen to it again and see what you could change. Maybe you're saying something that you shouldn't say. Usually, there's two reasons why a person has an objection. One reason, they have a doubt in their own ability. Second reason is they have a doubt about network marketing, about this kind of business. So if they have a doubt in themselves, good question to ask, why do you think you will not be able to do it? And then they will share deeper reasons. Like, I don't know how to sell. Okay, we can now answer that objection. Or, I don't want to bother my friends and family. Okay, now we can answer that objection. And I'll show you some ways to do it. If they don't believe in network marketing, usually there's a story. Maybe they tried it before and failed. Maybe somebody they know failed. So I always like to ask. I say, well, tell me the story. What happened? Why you don't believe in network marketing? And this way, I can dig deeper. Now, objections is actually a good sign because it shows that the person is seriously considering your product or your business. Objections, after some time, you'll realize they are same all the time. There's only so many of them. And the person who's giving you the objection, they basically want you to explain to them that it is not so how they think. So they basically want you to show them that they are wrong. Okay. Another thing you have to pay attention is if the objection is one-off or a lot of people say the same thing. Because if it does come up often, you want to systematize it. You want to start from the beginning and talk about it, and you want to neutralize it in your presentation. So, for example, if every time you finish the presentation, a customer says it's too expensive, then what you want to do is talk about the value from the very beginning, that they would see why it costs as much as it costs. So you want to work on that and integrate that into your presentation. So let's look at some most common objections that we usually get in our business. And by the way, if I don't mention objection that you get, you can write it in the comments. So first one, oh, it's too expensive. Price is only a problem when there is not enough value. Remember that. If somebody says it's too expensive, it doesn't mean you have to give them a discount. If somebody says it's too expensive, that means you didn't show enough value. You need to talk more about what problems this product solves, how it improves the life, what ingredients it have and why they're useful. Show them the value. Also, a good question to ask, expensive compared to what? Oh, compared to the product in a supermarket. But does that product solve your problem? No. That's why. Because it's cheap. Also, we can use what is called reduction to the ridiculous. Let's say the product costs 90 euros. for 1 month. So we can say it's 3 euros a day. Would having a better health be worth 3 euros a day for you? Yeah, of course. Right? Now it's not 90 euros, it's only 3 euros per day. And when it comes to building a business, if a person says, oh, I can't afford to join, a question that's a little bit spicy, but it works, could be, how long do you want to live where you can't afford, a few hundred euros? Something has to change if you want to be financially free. And this business maybe could help you. Next one, I don't have the time. I always like to ask, how much time do you think you will need? If they say, I don't have the money, how much money do you think you will need? Oh, I don't know anybody. How many people do you think you need to know? I like to ask a question, dig deeper, find out how are they thinking about it. How will you get more time? If right now you have no time and you're working 3 jobs, how will you ever get more time? If you build a business, it can give you more time then. Also, a really good answer, you might recruit somebody in your team who has more time than you. So we always can reason with a person, explain to them that, what if you could do this 1 hour a day? What if you could do this 30 minutes a day? What if I could show you how you could start doing this business with just 30 minutes per day? Would you try then? We want to open their mind. Another very common, I don't know how to sell. Well, we recommend restaurants, movies, shops all our life. That's selling. When you recommend something that you like. Just in this business, you will be paid for recommendation. Our goal is to create a network of consumers, people who use the product every month, and you make the money every month. And we will teach you what and when to say. So don't worry if you don't know how to sell. So a good question would be, if I showed you how to do it, would you try? Would you consider joining my team? I don't know enough people. Oh, you have to know a lot of people for this business. Most of your leaders will be people you meet after you start in network marketing. Write 3 in the comments if that's what happened in your business. In my business, all of my leaders are people who I met after I started in network marketing. They're not my relatives. They're not my classmates. They're not my closest friends. Most of my leaders today are people who I met after I started in business. You just have to be okay to meet new people. You might recruit other people who know a lot of people. I'm not confident. We've been learning about confidence, right? Confidence comes through practice. Only after you start doing, you will become confident. You don't become confident before you do it. We will teach you to use the system, so you don't need to rely on your own confidence. And if you're not confident, then it's easier for other people to do what you do than if you are very confident. Is this a pyramid? For network marketers, this word is like a swear word. I always ask, I say, what do you mean when you say pyramid? And they basically describe network marketing, not a pyramid scheme. So I explain, pyramids are illegal, network marketing is legal. Pyramids have no product, network marketing has a product. So I gently educate them, and then they understand. I know somebody who tried and failed. Do you know how much effort they put in? Maybe they didn't try very hard. What else they're not good at? If that person doesn't know how to cook, you will not cook as well? It doesn't make sense for you not to try it because somebody else failed. Maybe you will succeed. Oh no, you will earn from me if I join the business. You explain. I will teach you how to earn money in this business. Once you earn the money, the company, not you, the company will pay me. Does that sound fair? Most people say, yeah. Many people do this already. Common objection. Many people work as a driver, as a chef, as a nurse. Does that mean there's no longer need for new drivers, for new nurses? No, we always need more people to do it. Same in network marketing. We always need more people to do it. Everybody has a fridge. You guys, do you have a fridge at home? But the fridge companies don't go bankrupt, do they? Because there's always somebody new who needs a fridge. It's a river that forever flows. When I started in network marketing 15 years ago, somebody was 10 years old. That person wasn't good for my business. But today, that 10-year-old is 25. Now that person can join my business. Oh no, this is not a serious job. True. This is a business. It's not a job. But most people are worried, what will others think about me? So I always ask this question. I say, look, when you are earning 10,000 euros per month in this business, will you care what others say or think? Oh no, I will not care then. Why do you care about it now? Oh, there's too much negativity about network marketing. Well, you can find something negative about anything on Google. About politics, about economics, about anything. People are scared of what they don't understand. Do you have your own opinion, or you let others to make your decisions? What do you think they will say? No, I make my own decisions. Good. So have a look at the business. Don't decide about it because what other people say. This is not for me. I always say, no problem at all. Can I ask you a question? Why do you think it's not for you? Oh, I don't want to talk to my friends and family about this product. Okay. If I showed you how to build this business without talking to your friends and family, would you give it a chance? Because I can teach them how, right? Do you have another way to create financial freedom, to have more time with your friends and family? No, I don't. Maybe then it would be a good idea to use this business. I need to think about it. I need to think about it. I always say, most people who say that usually have a question. Do you have a question? Maybe something is not clear. Maybe I could explain more. And a simple question. What do you think is stopping you? And then they give you the real objection. I need to speak to somebody, then I will decide. No problem at all. That's absolutely fine. What will you tell them if they say no, you shouldn't do it? What will you tell them? I want them to start thinking about it now. And I tell them, better show them the presentation video or introduce them to me, and I will explain. So guys, before we go to questions, little homework task. First homework task for you is to make a list of positive affirmation. Affirmation is a positive sentence that you can read every day to be more confident, to have more self-worth. Maybe simple affirmations like, I am worthy of success. I can reach my goals. I am good enough to be a strong leader. Think, what are stopping you? And write those things other way around. Your second homework task is to have a meeting with your team and to practice answering these objections in pairs. So one person says objection, the other person answers it. Then they say objection, then you answer it. Have a role play. And of course, as usual, you will get a PDF of all of these slides. So thank you so much. And now let's go to questions and answers.
Yes, thank you so much, Gediminas.
Thank you.
I will help you to go through this chat and let me open it, and I will read questions from our audience. Thank you so much once again, dear partners. Please do not hesitate. Be self-confident.
Yes, you
Do
are
not
worthy.
be scared of writing anything you would like to ask Gediminas. So this is high time to ask any question, even stupid, as you say always, Gediminas, right?
There's no stupid questions, yes. And I will try not to give stupid answers.
Okay. Yes, amazing training. I agree. I think everyone agreed. But by the way, share your emotions, so that share your reaction, so that we can see that you liked today's training. Great. Let's wait for our questions. Okay, I see something, but I need to translate. So this is not a question. Okay. Thanks so much. Great leader. Thank you. Yes. Yes, regarding previously we received a question in the chat. As usual, you will receive the recording and also the presentation via email on the email that you registered from. Oh, we have a question. What if it takes a long time to work on distributor self-worth? Because we in MLM usually work on self-confidence as we are realized on the training.
Yeah, and it will take some time. You know, if a person for 40 years of their life was thinking that they're not worthy, then it's going to take a minute to change that mindset. And the best thing for that is, of course, personal development. So recommend books, recommend videos, recommend seminars for your team members so they can grow their self-worth. They can start believing that they are worthy of success. It took me years, so it's not a 5-minute thing. I wish that after one training like this, you'd be full of self-worth for the rest of your life. But it's probably going to take more work than that, especially if you have many limiting beliefs about your worthiness. Because so many of us, we think, oh, I'm too fat. I'm not beautiful enough. I'm bald. I have no hair. And we make up all of this stuff to stop ourselves, to think that I'm not good enough. So just help the team member, direct them to some things that helped you. One of the first book I would recommend is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And it's a good book because even if you don't read the book, just read the cover. Think and Grow Rich, right? It will help you a bit. But there's many, many, many books and videos, free stuff on YouTube that your team member can start learning from and growing their confidence.
Thank you so much, Gediminas. Please send your questions. We are waiting for a few more minutes. Yeah, actually.
Absolutely.
Yes, this was a really wonderful presentation. Thank you once again from all of us, Gediminas. I'm checking, maybe I missed some question. No. Okay. I will still give 1 minute for the question session, and then I will continue with the invitation for our next lesson. Yes, thank you. Thank you so much for your reactions. Flying reactions. Looks very good, yeah. Okay, so we do not have more questions. So I would like to say thank you on behalf of the European team to you, Gediminas, for this wonderful training, for your interesting, powerful insight, for these very practical advices. And I would like also to say thank you to our technical team that is supporting us with the Word AI translation, with the live translation, and everyone who has participated today, and of course for your great activity, for your participation in all course trainings. I know that we have a team who is participating all the time, and of course the new ones who joined today. And now I would like to share the information about the next training. Yeah, so I'm inviting, and together with Gediminas, of course, we are inviting you to the next lesson, and it will be the final lesson of the course number 2, Leveraging AI Tools for Sales and Marketing. As from the name of the lesson, you can see that this will be a very important, very valuable training, and you will learn how to use modern AI tools strategically to increase productivity, improve messaging, and scale your marketing efforts. So please scan the QR code and be the first ones who will register on the next lesson number 3. So I'm leaving this on the screen for very few seconds so you can scan, but don't worry, I will send you this link for registration also with the recording to this training and with the materials to this training. And right now I'm closing the sharing, and as usual, we have what? We have picture time, right? Good. So let's share reactions, whatever you like. I like rocket, for example. Yeah, so one, good. Ah, yes, please open your cameras because I see not all of you open cameras. I don't want to shoot like black pages, you know? Yeah. Thank you so much. Once again, please. Good. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, dear leaders, dear participants. Thank you, Gediminas.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
Our dear
Thank you
TM's
so
family
much.
for
Thank
this
you.
wonderful training.
much.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much. Great leader. Thank
See
you.
you on our next trainings.
Bye-bye.
Thank
Have a
you.
great evening. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.